She had an aura of attracting you to her. She would draw you to dance with her. Feels good, it's good to be back here and have our family and friends supporting us in our hometown beloved singer, but betrayed at young age. It's been 30 years since Selena Quintanilla was betrayed after a supposed trusted and special person ended her life. Now her widower is finally speaking his truth, revealing what really happened when Selena left the world at the age of 23. Does he know something we don't? The tragic death of a star. Selena Quintanilla's death was one of the most tragic events in the history of Latin music and popular culture. She was a rising star, known for her incredible talent and charismatic personality, and her untimely passing at the age of 23 left a deep scar on her family, fans, and the music industry at large. On March 31, 1995, Selena's life was abruptly cut short by a senseless act of violence when she fatally shot and slain by Yolanda Saldivar, the former president of her fan club and manager of her boutiques. The story of Selena's death is both heartbreaking and deeply complicated, shaped by trust, betrayal, and a sense of rising tension that culminated in one of the most tragic moments in music history. Selena's career had been skyrocketing. In the years leading up to her death, she had already established herself as a star in the Tejano music world, a genre that blends traditional Mexican music with elements of American pop, rock, and country. Selena had crossed over into mainstream success, bringing Tejano music to the forefront of American audiences. She was beloved by her fans, and her influence extended far beyond the Latin community, marking her as one of the most important figures in the Latin music genre. Her album Amor Prohibido, released in 1994, had reached incredible success, and she was on the verge of breaking into the English language market. With plans to record a crossover album, her potential seemed limitless, and her personal charm, work ethic, and dedication to her craft made her an idol for many. However, despite her success, there was a darker side to Selena's story that many did not see. Yolanda Saldivar, a former nurse, had been one of Selena's most loyal fans and had worked her way into Selena's inner circle. Saldivar was a key figure in managing Selena's fan club and later became the manager of Selena's boutiques, which sold the singer's line of fashion and merchandise. Saldivar was trusted by Selena and her family, and she was thought to be a devoted member of their team. However, behind the scenes, Saldivar began to act in increasingly erratic and troubling ways. Reports suggest that Saldivar had been embezzling money from Selena's boutiques and mismanaging finances. When Selena discovered the discrepancies, she confronted Saldivar, which led to a breakdown in their professional relationship. The confrontation between Selena and Saldivar escalated when Selena, accompanied by her father, Abraham Quintanilla, made plans to meet with Saldivar in a hotel room in Corpus Christi, Texas on the morning of March 31, 1995. Selena had been hoping to discuss the financial issues and get clarity on the allegations of embezzlement. Saldivar, who had reportedly been acting increasingly irrational and unstable, had reportedly promised to return the money she had stolen and tried to reconcile with Selena. It was a meeting meant to resolve business problems, but it ended in a horrific act of violence. In the hotel room, after a tense discussion, Saldivar pulled out a .38 caliber handgun that she had brought with her and shot Selena in the back. The bullet struck Selena's right shoulder, severing an artery and causing her to bleed out. Despite her injuries, Selena managed to flee the room and ran down the hallway to the hotel lobby, bleeding heavily. Witnesses later reported seeing her collapse onto the floor as she screamed for help. Saldivar, meanwhile, fled the scene in her car and went into hiding. Selena was rushed to the hospital, but tragically her injuries were too severe. She was pronounced dead shortly after arriving, leaving her family, friends, and fans in a state of shock and disbelief. The news of Selena's death spread like wildfire across the world, and it was met with an outpouring of grief from her fans, friends, and the Latin community. Selena had been more than just a musical icon. She was a symbol of hope and empowerment. For many, she had overcome significant challenges to become one of the most successful Latin artists in the world. And her death felt like the world had lost a beacon of joy and light. The public mourning that followed her death was immense, with people from all walks of life expressing their sorrow. Her funeral, which was held in Corpus Christi, Texas, was attended by thousands of mourners, and her family, particularly her father Abraham, who had managed much of her career, was left devastated by the loss. The aftermath of Selena's death revealed the true extent of Saldivar's actions. Following a tense standoff with police, Saldivar was arrested and charged with murder. She later claimed that the shooting was accidental and that she had not intended to end Selena's life, but her actions and behavior leading up to the event made her motives clear. Yolanda Saldivar was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. She would later attempt to appeal her conviction, but her case remains a tragic reminder of the destructive power of betrayal and jealousy. Selena's death left an indelible mark on the music world, and her legacy continues to live on in the hearts of her fans and through her music. She was an inspiration to many and a trailblazer for Latin artists. In mainstream music, Selena's story was immortalized in a 1997 biographical film, Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez, which helped introduce her to new generations of fans. The film depicted her rise to stardom and her tragic death, bringing her story to a wider audience. Beyond her music, Selena's sense of style, her role as a cultural ambassador, and her ability to break down barriers for Latin artists remain central to her legacy. Selena's story serves as a reminder of the fleeting nature of life and the importance of cherishing those who make a difference in the world. Her death may have stolen her from us, but her music, her spirit, and her impact live on, ensuring that Selena Quintanilla will never be forgotten. How exactly did her family, especially the love of her life, cope up after her passing? The husband, Chris. At the time of her passing, she was married to Chris Perez, a talented guitarist who played in Selena's band. The aftermath of her death deeply impacted Chris, both personally and professionally, as he grappled with profound grief, loss, and the emotional weight of losing his wife in such a tragic and senseless manner. Following Selena's slaying, Chris Perez found himself in a state of deep sorrow and emotional turmoil. The couple's marriage, which was relatively new, had been filled with love and support, and their bond was strong. Selena had been the light of his life, and her sudden and violent death left him devastated. For a time, he withdrew from the public eye, as he was not only mourning his wife, but also grappling with the overwhelming attention surrounding her tragic passing. Chris had been close to Selena's family, but after her death, things became strained. Selena's family, particularly her father, Abraham Quintanilla Jr., had mixed feelings about Chris. Due to the tumultuous beginning of their relationship, Abraham had been against the marriage, initially believing that Chris might not be the right person for Selena because of his background, and this led to some tension within the family. However, after Selena's death, Chris was largely left to mourn alone. There were rumors that Selena's family did not support him emotionally during the early days of his grief, a situation that contributed to his isolation. Chris continued to be a part of the Tejano music scene. In the years following Selena's death, he focused on his music career, seeking to keep her memory alive, while also working through his grief. He eventually released a solo album, Resurrection, in 1999, which was widely seen as his way of coping with the loss and honoring Selena's legacy. The album included songs like Solo to You and Este Amor, which were heartfelt tributes to Selena and his enduring love for her. After Selena's death, Chris Perez faced an intensely private life, marked by challenges, personal struggles, and at times an attempt to move forward. He remarried in 2001 to a woman named Vanessa Villanueva, with whom he had 2 children. However, the relationship ultimately ended in divorce in 2008, and the reasons behind their separation were never fully disclosed to the public. Chris's second marriage and subsequent divorce seemed to have been deeply impacted by the weight of his past, the loss of Selena, and the emotional scars he still carried from her death. Throughout the years, Chris continued to reflect on his life with Selena. He often shared fond memories of her through interviews, social media, and public appearances, and he kept her legacy alive by participating in various tribute projects, including those that aimed to honor her contributions to music and culture. One of the most public displays of his devotion to Selena was when he joined the Selena Forever tribute concert in 2016. He also worked closely with the Quintanilla family, at times participating in special events and celebrations of Selena's life. Although their relationship had been strained in the early years after her passing, in more recent years Chris Perez has continued to build on his musical career while staying true to his late wife's legacy. His emotional journey and his devotion to keeping Selena's memory alive are evident in his continued involvement with the Tejano music scene and in his personal endeavors. In 2019, he published a memoir titled To Selena with Love, which gave fans an intimate look into his life with Selena, the impact she had on him, and the heartbreaking pain he endured after her death. The book became a bestseller and was met with a great deal of support from Selena's fans, many of whom had been waiting for Chris to share his side of the story. In the memoir, he talked about the depth of their relationship, how Selena's death affected him, and the difficulties of moving on in a world without her. In addition to his writing, Chris continues to perform music. He released new material, including his band, Chris Perez Band, and has been active on social media, sharing snippets of his life and work with his followers. Despite the heavy emotional burden that continues to accompany his grief, Chris seems to have found a way to honor Selena's memory while maintaining a sense of stability and peace in his own life. He has also expressed interest in the film industry, as a biopic about Selena's life was released in 2000, twice as part of a television series on Netflix. While the series portrayed key aspects of Selena's journey, including her relationship with Chris, Perez himself has expressed mixed feelings about how their story was presented. In particular, he has noted that the portrayal of their love story, as well as certain details, did not always reflect the truth, and he has been careful not to dwell on negative portrayals of the past. His love for Selena, however, remains unwavering, and he has said that he always sees her as an integral part of his life. As of today, Chris Perez remains one of the most prominent figures connected to Selena's legacy. His public appearances are often marked by a sense of respect for Selena's memory, and he still regularly connects with fans of the late singer. Though he has been through personal challenges and has experienced significant loss, he has ultimately found ways to continue living while keeping Selena's spirit alive through music, writing, and reflection. His story is one of perseverance, personal growth, and unwavering love. Through all the changes in his personal life and career, Chris Perez has remained dedicated to preserving the memory of Selena, whose impact continues to resonate across generations. Although Selena's death will forever be a source of profound grief for him, Chris has also embraced his role in ensuring her legacy remains untouched by time. For a 23-year-old artist, did you know just how much she has achieved? At this young age, the journey of a young lady, Selena Quintanilla Perez, widely known simply as Selena, was a trailblazing Mexican-American singer whose life and career left an indelible mark on both the music industry and Latinx culture. Raised in a family that valued music, Her father Abraham Quintanilla recognized her potential and formed the band Selena y los Dinos in the early 80s. Selena's early exposure to music was through the band, where she initially sang in Spanish. Despite being more comfortable with English, her dedication and innate musical talent quickly catapulted her into becoming a star in the Tejano music scene, a genre of music that blends traditional Mexican sounds with American influences. By the time she was in her 20s, Selena was already an established icon in the Latin music world, transcending language and cultural barriers. However, her career was tragically cut short when she was slain. Despite her untimely death, Selena's influence continues to resonate globally. Selena's career is marked by her innovative contributions to Tejano music, a genre that had been predominantly male-dominated. Until she broke through, she not only expanded the appeal of Tejano music to a broader audience, but also blended it with pop and cumbia influences, creating a unique and versatile sound. One of her first major hits, Como La Flor, released in 1992, became an anthem for the Latinx community. The song, with its poignant lyrics and Selena's emotive delivery, is considered one of her most iconic tracks, embodying the themes of love and heartbreak. Another key milestone in Selena's career was the album Entre a mi Mundo 1992, which marked her breakthrough into mainstream Latin music. The album featured the massive hit Bila Esta Cumbia, which further solidified her status as a rising star. Selena's ability to cross over into various musical genres, such as pop, Latin ballads, and traditional Mexican cumbia, made her a musical chameleon, enabling her to appeal to a wide array of listeners. She not only excelled in music, but also in fashion, becoming a style icon, and even ventured into business with a clothing line, Selena etc. One of Selena's most notable accomplishments was her breakthrough into the mainstream English-speaking market. Her 1994 album, Selena, included hits such as I Could Fall in Love and Dreaming of You, which showcased her potential as a crossover artist. Dreaming of You, in particular, was a soft ballad that combined Selena's Latin roots with a more accessible pop sound, testament to her ability to create music that resonated across cultural divides. Selena's growing popularity among both Latin and non-Latin audiences underscored her universal appeal. Despite this success, the album was released posthumously, and Selena's dreams of further expanding her reach into the English language market were tragically interrupted. Her crossover success, however, paved the way for other Latin artists to follow in her footsteps and break through the mainstream music scene. Selena's tragic death shocked the world and left a permanent void in the music industry. The loss of Selena at such a young age, at the peak of her career, was a devastating blow to her family, fans, and the Latin music community. Her legacy, however, endures through the countless tributes, documentaries, and films that have been created in her honor. The 1997 biographical film Selena, starring Jennifer Lopez, played a significant role in cementing her place as a cultural icon. The film not only introduced Selena to new generations of fans, but also highlighted the importance of her contributions to music, fashion, and Latinx identity. Selena's legacy is characterized by her ability to break barriers, unite cultures, and serve as a role model for aspiring musicians, especially Latinx artists. She remains a symbol of strength, perseverance, and authenticity. In the years following her death, Selena's influence has only grown, with her music continuing to inspire artists across genres. Her contributions to the Latin music industry are still felt today, as many contemporary Latin stars such as Jennifer Lopez, Shakira, and Becky G cite Selena as an inspiration. The Selena Foundation, established by her family, works to support programs in education and music for underprivileged youth, ensuring that her legacy lives on in meaningful ways. The city of Corpus Christi, Texas, where Selena's legacy is deeply rooted, has also honored her with the Selena Memorial Statue, which serves as a constant reminder of her impact. In terms of her musical impact, Selena's influence on the Latinx community cannot be overstated. She served as a bridge between cultures, making Tejano music accessible to a global audience. Her music was not only celebrated for its catchy melodies and passionate performances, but also for its representation of the Latinx experience. Selena embodied a sense of pride for her heritage, and she became a beacon of hope for many who felt underrepresented in mainstream media. She was unapologetically proud of her Mexican roots and made it a point to celebrate her culture in every aspect of her career, from her music to her fashion choices. Selena's story also highlights the challenges faced by women in the music industry, especially in the Latinx and Tejano music scenes, which were often overlooked by mainstream outlets. As a result, Selena became not just a pop star, but a symbol of empowerment for women, particularly women of color, and an important figure in the conversation about diversity and representation in entertainment. Selena's best songs remain timeless classics that continue to be cherished by fans. Old and new hits like Como La Fla Amor, Prohibido Baila Esta Cumbia, La Llamadera, and I Could Fall in Love are just a few examples of her musical range and emotional depth. Her ability to connect with her audience on a personal level through her heartfelt lyrics and captivating performances helped her build an unwavering fan base, many of whom continue to celebrate her life and work. The enduring popularity of these songs ensures that Selena will always be remembered, not only as a music legend, but as an icon whose legacy transcends time, culture, and language. She broke barriers in the music industry, challenged societal norms, and empowered countless individuals. Through her music and persona, her contributions to Latin music, fashion, and representation are immeasurable, and her legacy will continue to inspire generations to come. Although Selena's life was tragically short, the impact she made during her brief time on Earth remains monumental. The lasting legacy. Lasting music. Selena Quintanilla remains a beloved icon in both Latin and mainstream music, known for her radiant stage presence, vibrant style, and powerful vocals. Selena's music transcended cultural boundaries and continues to influence generations. Her songs carry deep emotional resonance, from joyful celebration to heartfelt longing. Among her impressive catalog, -1 songs stand out, not only for their musical excellence, but for their lasting impact on fans around the world. One of Selena's most cherished songs, Como La Fla, became an anthem of both love and loss. Released in 1992, the song speaks of a love that is wilted like a flower, losing its bloom. With its heartfelt lyrics and catchy cumbia rhythm, Como La Fla connected deeply with listeners, especially young Latinas who saw in Selena a reflection of their own experiences and struggles. The song's bittersweet message and emotional delivery showcased her ability to convey profound emotion, and it quickly became one of her signature performances. It remains a staple in tribute concerts and fan playlists alike, symbolizing the tender vulnerability of heartbreak. Another iconic track, Bitty Bitty Boom Boom, demonstrates Selena's playful and youthful spirit. This upbeat, infectious tune with reggae and cumbia influences reflects the sound of a heart fluttering when in love. The song's energy and fun-loving lyrics made it an instant favorite among fans, especially younger audiences. Its crossover appeal helped introduce Selena's music to a wider, bilingual audience, showing that Latin rhythms could dominate mainstream airwaves. For many, it's a joyful reminder of Selena's charisma and the joy she brought to her performances. Amor Prohibido, the title track from her 1994 album, is another cornerstone of Selena's legacy. The song narrates the story of forbidden love, inspired by her grandparents' romance. Its narrative struck a powerful chord with listeners, who had experienced love in the face of societal or familial obstacles. The fusion of traditional Tejano music with pop and electronic elements demonstrated Selena's musical versatility. Amor Prohibo not only topped charts, but also solidified Selena's voice as one of empowerment for fans who felt marginalized or constrained by cultural expectations. Selena's Nom Quima Mas showcases her ability to deliver ballads with emotional depth and sincerity. A poignant song of unrequited love and acceptance. Its orchestral arrangement and Selena's stirring vocals made it one of her most moving performances. Listeners gravitated toward the honesty in her delivery, and it became a go-to song for those dealing with personal heartache. Its melancholic beauty and lyrical sophistication helped elevate Tejano music's emotional range and proved Selena's capacity for storytelling. Through song Finally, Dreaming of You, released posthumously in 1995, captured the immense potential of Selena's crossover ambitions. The English-language ballad about longing and devotion introduced her to an even broader audience and was a poignant reminder of the career that might have been the song top charts in the US and became a defining moment for fans. Mourning her tragic death, it bridged cultural divides and helped cement Selena as a timeless figure in pop music history, especially for young Latinos who rarely saw themselves reflected in mainstream media. These 5 songs encapsulate Selena Quintanilla's extraordinary ability to blend emotional honesty with musical innovation. Each track reveals a different facet of her artistry and continues to resonate deeply with fans across generations. Through her music, Selena not only uplifted the Tejano genre, but also became a cultural icon whose legacy is as vibrant and enduring as her voice. Even big stars are impressed by her talent. Can you guess one of them? Beloved Selena. Despite her tragically short life, her impact continues to echo through the voices and works of countless artists who came after her. Fellow musicians, both from the Latin music world and beyond, have frequently expressed admiration for her talent, work ethic, and groundbreaking contributions to the music industry. One of the most vocal admirers of Selena has been Beyoncé, who has often recounted her childhood memory of briefly meeting Selena in a Houston mall, though the encounter was fleeting. Beyoncé credits Selena with influencing her musical development, especially in terms of stage presence and vocal delivery. She taught me that you can be an artist, a performer, and still stay true to who you are, Beyoncé shared in an interview. This admiration is echoed by many other artists who, like Selena, straddle the line between cultural heritage and mainstream success. For artists such as Demi Lovato and Camila Cabello, Selena represents a beacon of representation, a Latina who made it big without compromising her identity or her roots. Jennifer Lopez, who famously portrayed Selena in the 1997 biopic that introduced the singer's story to millions more, has spoken extensively about the profound effect the role had on her life and career. Lopez has said that playing Selena was a transformative experience, not only because it catapulted her to fame, but because it instilled in her a deeper appreciation for Latina icons and the cultural barriers Selena helped break down. In interviews, Lopez often reflects on the grace, humility, and spirit that Selena embodied. She has honored Selena in performances and speeches over the years, calling her an angel and a force of nature, whose music and heart continue to inspire generations. Beyond pop and Tejano circles, artists from diverse genres have also paid homage. Rapper and producer Drake has been seen wearing Selena shirts and referencing her legacy on social media. In hip-hop culture, where authenticity and personal narrative are paramount, Selena's story resonates deeply, a testament to her realism and the emotional power of her music. Even contemporary pop icons like Katy Perry and Lady Gaga have cited Selena as an influence, noting her fashion sense, charisma, and trailblazing spirit. Her music, such as the unforgettable Como La Flaw and Beady Bom Bom, continues to be sampled, covered and played at major events, bridging generations and genres. In the Latin music community, Selena's impact is even more profound. Reggaeton and Latin pop stars like Karol G, Bad Bunny, and Becky G often reference Selena in interviews, music videos, and performances. Becky G in particular has spoken about how Selena was one of the few role models she saw growing up who looked like her and spoke Spanglish, a shared bicultural identity that is common among many young Latinos. In the U.S., Becky G performed a tribute to Selena at the Latin American Music Awards, calling it one of the greatest honors of her life. This sentiment is mirrored by many in the Latinx community who see Selena not just as a star, but as a symbol of cultural pride and possibility. Selena's legacy has also been immortalized through numerous tribute concerts, television specials, and museum exhibits. In 2005, the Selena Vive tribute concert brought together over 50,000 fans and an array of Latin music superstars, including Thalia Paulina Rubio and Gloria Estefan. Each artist brought their unique style to Selena's music, yet all maintained the emotional authenticity that characterized her performances. Gloria Estefan, herself a pioneer in Latin crossover music, spoke during the tribute of Selena's unmatched light and warmth, calling her the sister we all lost too soon. Even in the digital age, younger artists discovering Selena for the first time often find themselves drawn to her timeless voice and commanding presence. The Netflix series Selena. The series introduced her to a new generation and sparked renewed interest in her music and legacy. Tapping into this renewed cultural interest, artists like Kali Uchis and Rosalia have mentioned Selena's influence in interviews, pointing to the blend of vulnerability and strength in her performances, a rare balance that few artists manage to strike so effortlessly. The enduring tributes and feedback from fellow artists illustrate that Selena Quintanilla was more than just a music icon. She was and still is a powerful cultural touchstone. Her life and career continue to inspire not only admiration, but action, pushing new generations of artists to embrace their identities, honor their roots, and reach for greatness without fear. Her voice may have been silenced far too soon, but through the voices of those she influenced, Selena lives on, timeless, radiant, and unforgettable. Her impact transcends music, shaping the landscape of Latinx culture and empowering others to break barriers in both the entertainment industry and beyond. Through every performance, every song, and every tribute, Selena's legacy serves as a reminder that the power of one individual can change the world. As the generations pass, her influence remains constant, proving that true icons never fade. They only grow stronger. Do you remember Selena? Leave your comments down below. We'll see you in the next one.